Yo, since I've been here, I've really come to like this brand of drink. It's so nice, very sweet, very refreshing. I came to Kazakhstan. I came to Almaty to see if this would be a potential place where I could move to in the future, and I did my very best not to do many touristy things because I wanted to see authentic life here in Almaty. So I spent a lot of time walking around the city, shopping at the supermarkets, and just like doing the normal things that the citizens here would do, just to see if, you know, things would be different than they were in the summer when I came as a tourist. One thing that I learned about the stores here, the supermarkets here in Almaty, is that they have fresh meat. If you want the fresh meat, you have to make sure you come in the morning, because usually by the afternoon, all of the fresh meat is gone. Here in the stores, oh my God, it's so amazing. Like here, all of this like Nutella and stuff, like Kazakhs really love Nutella. Well, I think people in general just love Nutella, but it's really good here and it's really cheap. Like the stores have a lot cheaper food than you can find, or that I can find in Korea, especially the fruits. The fruit selection here in Almaty is not as colorful, I should say, at the supermarkets as they are in Korea, but definitely cheaper, and definitely I feel like the fruits are fresher than in Korea. Okay guys, it's the morning. I'm now in a store called Small, and yeah, I'm getting used to living in Kazakhstan. And here is where Francois gets in trouble. There's a lot of like candies and cookies on this aisle, and I just love how the candies are just out in the open like this. It kind of reminds me of being back in the United States. So they have like all assortments of candies that you can get. Not really good for your teeth, but I think it might be a part of like Kazakh culture, where you come into, here we go, Kazakh candy. You go into a Kazakh's house, Kazakh person's house, and they give you candy, or they give you some kind of sweet, something like that. At least in Mongolia, that's what happens. And Kazakh culture and Mongolian culture share some similarities. They don't have the same culture, but they share some similarities in their culture. You definitely cannot come to the supermarket and not get bread. There's a lot of different breads that you can get here. And of course, down here they have the Nutella that you can get with the bread. And check out the price of the bread. It's 276 tenge, which is super, super cheap. I forgot exactly the exchange rate, but I'll put that in the video. But yeah, they have all these different types of bread, which is so delicious. And you can come here and get bread that's really cheap. So I imagine like if a person doesn't have so much money, they can at least come here and get some cheap bread. They can get cheap meat, cheap vegetables, and still have themselves a meal. Something that I really appreciate about the supermarkets here in Almaty. Oh, check out over here. They've got another whole aisle full of bread. And I love this Kazakh bread. I love how it's made. I love how it looks. I don't want to be touching all of their food and stuff like that, but yo, this is really a joyous experience being in the store in Almaty. Especially if you look here, you can see they have so many different assortments of yogurt. I think just like in Mongolia, Kazakhs are like Turkic people, nomadic peoples, so they have a history of eating a lot of dairy products. And I think dairy products like oh, I love this yogurt right here. I really love this yogurt right there. The dairy products are like able to keep people like full, give them energy, like when it's cold outside. So yeah, if you're coming to Kazakhstan, you gotta drink some yogurt. You have to have like a lot of the dairy products here because it's so fresh and it's so premium. Seriously, this whole section right here, this whole section is dairy. Wow. Okay, here is the fruit section, and just looks so premium, so fresh. These are like real cucumbers. Wow. And of course, you can go to like the green bazaar, and you can find fruits and vegetables that are fresh, like really, really fresh. Oh, sorry, this guy's coming through. But just here at the supermarket, even if you don't have time to go all the way to the bazaar, you can come and get some fresh fruits and vegetables here in the supermarket, and it's not very expensive. Like I think I came here the other day I bought like a bunch of fruits and a bunch of vegetables and some pizza and some other stuff. I think I spent like 2,700 tenge, however much that is, but it's not very expensive if you compare to the price that you would pay in Korea or the United States, especially for fresh fruit and vegetables. This guy's over here working, putting up the fruits, answering questions. And just like Korea and the United States, there are lines, long lines to get out. So it's good to see that they also have like the capitalist snacks. Well, I don't have to say capitalist snacks. This is not like a communist country, but they have like Western snacks that you can get. Everything is pretty much set up the same as they are in other supermarkets.
Ayttık ağa, ayttık. Kas geliydi. Bilmem turaveririz.
So I got a nice haul of food here. Gonna go back to my apartment. I'm gonna start cooking and stuff and just enjoy my day here in Almaty. It's pretty cold today. It's like -6 Celsius, but seriously, honestly, truthfully, it's not feeling very cold out here at all. It's feeling very pleasant and agreeable. Like if I were to experience this same temperature in Korea, it would be freezing like all the way to my bones. And I believe it's because it's so dry here in Almaty. So a lot of people here are telling me that it's so cold and I'm like, nah, go to Korea. It's much colder there. So I was mentioning how I came here to Almaty to experience life as just a commoner, not to do a lot of the tourist things, because you know, when you come to a place, when you visit a place and you're scouting a place for potential living conditions, you know, if you've been to that place before as a tourist, it's much different than if you're going to that place and visiting that place as just like a local. And what I mean is that, as I said before, I came in the summer and I did a lot of touristy things, and it can give you like the false or wrong impression of a place because you're always like having fun. But here, I didn't do many touristy things. Actually, I didn't do any touristy things. And I kind of just, you know, sat in my apartment and went outside every now and then, and, you know, went to cafes, went to restaurants and things like that. So I can have more of an authentic kind of experience living here. And I feel like, yeah, it's pretty much okay. Like the vibes here in the winter definitely aren't the same as the summer, but to be honest, like winter is starting to grow on me. And the vibes here in Almaty during the winter time are actually pretty pleasant, very agreeable. You know, it's cold, but it's not so cold. And people are still out and they're doing stuff and they're enjoying life. And I was here and able to, you know, enjoy life and to understand a bit more about Kazakh culture and just like the day-to-day happenings here in Almaty. So I rented an apartment, and the apartment price is about $600 for the entire month. I think that's the like average price that you'll pay for an apartment here in Almaty. And I heard that most people, they don't pay this price for an apartment in the center of the city. They live with roommates so they can split the cost. But for me, you know, it wasn't like a big cost because I'm coming with US dollars. So it's very interesting to see like how much the dollar really stretches here in Kazakhstan, in Almaty. Wow, look at this. But guess what, guys? I forgot the bread. Gotta go eat the bread. Before I go eat the bread, I just want to show you this butter. This is real butter, like super premium, real high quality cream butter. And it's not expensive. You can get it easily from the Kazakh markets anywhere in Kazakhstan. So one thing I thought I would not get used to while being here in Almaty in the wintertime is the central heating. And excuse my appearance, I just woke up this morning, I didn't do anything. Yeah, the central heating is something that I thought would be very difficult to get used to, but it's actually not. I thought it would be like cold in certain areas of the apartment and, you know, warm in other areas, but my entire apartment is like boiling hot. I don't even know how to turn down the heat, but I guess because it's central heating, well, maybe you can't turn down the heat. It's something that I'm not used to in Korea. So even though I'm not used to it, I started to adjust myself to it, and life here in Almaty And definitely being here in Almaty is not as like hip, it's not as fast paced as life is in Korea, but it still moves. Life still goes, and it's more of like a nice mixture of like Eastern European living, Central Asian living, East Asian living. There's a lot of different things that you can do here from different parts of the world, like from Europe or from East Asia, places like that. But it also retains like its own personality, which is something that I like. Like while I'm here in Almaty, I know that I'm in Kazakhstan. I can actually feel it every day, like when I'm walking outside. And besides the incident that I had with the little boy and his father and brother calling me the N-word when I was at the mountains, everyone here basically like treats me as if I'm like a spectacle, but not in a bad way. They see me, they see that I'm very different. They look at me and they put their eyes down and they just keep walking. Like no one is like looking at me, laughing, making fun or anything like that. So, you know, if you're African American or if you know, look very different from people here in Kazakhstan and you're worried about coming here, for me, I've had like 98% enjoyable experience while I'm in this country, while I'm in this city. Okay, I come into the little store under my apartment to buy some bread, and I still don't understand how to say bread in Russian or Kazakh, but I guess it's something that I'll have to learn how to say if I'm planning on moving here, because I just can't get through. I can't get by with only English in this country. Always a nice assortment of bread. I can appreciate that. Yeah, I'll never get used to like how cheap food is here if you're buying it from the market. Just bought this bread here. Look how big this bread is. This bread was like 50 cents. 50 cents. You can't beat that. So yeah, just being here in Almaty makes me realize that I could save a lot of money if I moved here, like a lot. The thing I haven't tested out yet is the work environment. I've stayed here as a tourist and I'm staying here now as just a commoner, but I don't really have a job here. So I haven't like tested out the work environment. And of course, if I work here, I'm not going to be working with other Kazakhs. I'm going to be working mainly with you know, other native English speaking peoples. So I think in order to have like a better understanding of how life would be here in Almaty, I need to get a job. I need to work. Definitely need to work. So another thing I got used to about being here in Almaty is that there are a lot of just like historical places everywhere in the street, and I love history. Just walking around random streets, you can find places like this. I heard this building here is very, very old. One of my friends' wives just told me like this building is very old, and I don't know exactly what it says. Maybe someone who speaks Russian or Kazakh can explain to me what this is, but I do like how it's set up. I really like how it's set up, and I like the colors. It just looks very basic. Walking through one of these lovely parks, and we can see the actual person of which or on which this building was made or dedicated. I cannot read this. It says 𝐒𝐬𝐥𝐿. My Russian is bad. But yeah, someone tell me what that says. Every damn bite is like a slice of heaven. The first bite I had was from the front, but I was told that's not the best. The best bite is from the back. I was not lied to. It's buttercream frosting, it's chocolate. There's some other kind of cream in it. Magnifico, magnifico. So delicious. First bite. This is cheesecake, right? I think this is cheesecake. This chocolate. Good. really good. But this is chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. This one has some kind of like hollow bread at the bottom. But good, but good. Okay, now I'm back in Korea and it's freezing here. It's colder here. It feels much colder here than it did in Almaty. I think definitely for wintertime, Almaty is the place to be. Korea has like so much wind and there's just a lot of humidity, just really like not uncomfortable, but it can get really cold here. So I guess now the question is, after spending 3 weeks in Almaty, I was supposed to spend 1 month, but I only lasted 3 weeks because I needed to come back to Korea to do some work. But could I live in Almaty? Could I possibly relocate to that city? I think yes. Almaty possesses everything that I need. The food is good. I guess the price of rent. Oh, I didn't even get a chance to show you guys my apartment, but the price of rent was really good. It's like $600 for an apartment in the center of the city, and the apartment was fairly big. And yeah, it's just as long as you have friends, or as long as I have friends, as long as I have something to do every day, like go to work and have some goals to accomplish, Almaty seems perfect for me. I don't think there's anything preventing me from moving there, especially because everything is so cheap if you're using the US dollars. Like a lot cheaper, well, not a lot cheaper. Some things are a lot cheaper there than they are here in Korea. And during my time, I only had one incident, which I mentioned in another video, where there was a young boy who called me the N-word. But I think that's just due to ignorance. And even though I felt a little upset at him, I think I was more upset this word is continually perpetuated and it should not be. But yeah, the food is good. The atmosphere is very agreeable. Even in the wintertime, it just seemed very chill, very laid back. There was not like a lot of commotion, not a lot of loud noises besides fireworks at Christmas and New Year's. And yeah, it seemed like a very enjoyable place to be, even when I was doing things not as a tourist. So yeah, I think Almaty is definitely a place that I could relocate to. Definitely not as cold in the winter time as it is here in Korea. The food is good. The people are nice for the most part. Of course, you're gonna have, assholes in every country, every area. And I think it's just a really good environment to be in. It's very comfortable. It's not so fast, but it is fast at the same time, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, thanks a lot guys for joining me on my little excursion to Almaty and now back here in Korea. And I hope you join me in the next videos wherever I am in the world. Thanks a lot to all of my channel members, Coco Cook Nagada. And as always, I love you guys. Make sure you stay hydrated, love your loved ones like Francois loves you, and see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.